This is going to be a short video comparing tapered tang with standard full tang. And the reason I wanted to do this is because this has been something that's been on my mind for a while now. I've often wondered if there was any benefit to one or the other, since I noticed that a lot of times people sell tapered tangs for a little bit more. And other than, you know, them being a little more complicated to make, there's not much of a benefit other than the weight. So what I brought with me is 4 examples of what I hope are comparable knives and a kitchen scale. The first 2 knives, Forge Puukkko and Adventuresworn Classic. Now, obviously different makers, different knife steel, ABL in the Forge, 01 in the Adventuresworn. But to be honest, they're the only 2 knives I have that are wooden handled. So I figured that's as close as a comparison as I can get. So I'm gonna weigh these 2, starting with the Puukko in AEBL full tang. 6.35. And now the Adventuresworn tapered 01, 5.96. Now, keep in mind, the Adventuresworn is like 5/32 thick steel, and the Puukko is 1/8 inch. Obviously different weights there, but already just between these 2 knives, a significant weight difference. So those 2 are wooden handles, natural handles. Now we're going to look at 2 that are synthetic handles. So both are from Cohutta, and both are in A2 steel. So this is the Sloyd in A2. Weigh that one, full tang, 5.5. And now we're going to weigh the Puukko in a tapered tang, 4.66. Now, those differences might not seem significant, but really what it does is it gives a different feel. Like as I'm feathering with it, as I'm working with each one, comparing them back and forth, it gives a major difference in how it feels in the hand. So, you know, because the weight is balanced between handle and blade, it doesn't feel nearly as heavy, and you feel like you have way more control over it. And that's really where the benefit comes in these tapered tang knives. The weight isn't a significant saving, and it's not like they're any weaker or stronger or anything. It's really just the balance of it. And I gotta say, I'm a fan. Like, as much as I love a good solid full tang knife, because the weight is all in the hand and not in the blade, sometimes it can feel off balance. All the weight is in your hand, not on the blade. So something to definitely consider when you're comparing them and considering one over the other. Now, is it worth the price tag difference? Probably not. But if you've got the money and an interest in trying one out, I highly recommend it. I mean, there's nothing gonna harm the blade's ability to work and perform. And if anything, in the end, you're gonna wind up with a piece of steel that is even fancier than your typical knife. So hopefully this short little video was helpful to you if you're thinking about, you know, checking out a partial tang, or not a partial tang, a tapered tang, and you're not sure if it's worth it or good to go for. 100%, you are totally fine. There's no difference in its capabilities. It's just the weight savings that you get and the balance and the feel in the hand, which is a significant difference. Noticeable, I'm telling you, very noticeable. And especially in the Adventuresworn, like, because it's a thicker blade, it's so noticeable when you're holding it and working with it, how much the balance is better. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate any comments and support. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section, do you have a tapered tang knife? And what do you think of it? Are you kind of nervous about working with it because it might be a little more fragile? I promise, I've talked to a couple different knife makers, and all of them have said the only difference in tapered tang versus standard tang is just the weight, as far as like how heavy it is in the hand. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.